Okay, for this reaction video, we're talking about, well, the video is called Creating Organization's Culture Based on Performance and Values with the speaker of Ann Rhodes. And she was a good speaker. She was a bit older, but obviously there's nothing wrong with that. She had a lot of experience in the field and spent a lot of the video actually talking about the examples of life experiences that she'd had and CEOs that she really liked, and really got down into why these values are important and how people are really what drive a company, obviously, because they're the employees, but it's more about the fact that these people are the ones that create the environment. And she pretty much said that it starts from the values up. So if you have poor company values, then oftentimes the employees that are going to be hired aren't going to be rooted in the same values as you. So I think one big takeaway that I got from the video was that if you're going to hire someone, it needs to be important to you. If you values need to be something that's held at high accountability and be considered very important to you, because without values, then your company's not going to do exactly what you want. So I think an important thing is to establish your own core values, hire people with similar core values, and execute those core values throughout your entire company to find the most success. So a couple things that she said were to define who you want to be based around, and she pulled up a values model, and it was broken into different sections, and she talked about that a little bit. And she said another step is to form a very strong model around accountability. So accountability is something that greatly helps an organization, in my opinion. When there's accountability amongst just the employees, it's like another, I don't want to say discipline system, but it could be probably viewed as that, because what it does is form a relationship between your employees, and when your employees have good relationships, they work together better, and it improves the overall company performance. But that accountability allows each employee to kind of watch each other's back, say, hey, I noticed you're doing this, why are you doing that? Like, make sure you're doing whatever action they're talking about this way, this is how we're supposed to do things. It allows each employee to communicate with each other without it having to go to the higher ups to make it a bigger deal, but instead the low-level employees can talk to each other and say, hey, I noticed you were doing this and you should do this. And I just think that accountability being a strong thing throughout the entire company is going to overall improve the performance of the company. And so another thing that she said was that you need to understand that the people you hire are your brand. So whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing, whatever your company's basis, if you're hiring people with core values that don't align with yours, they're likely not going to carry out the core values that you want to be carried out from your company. So that starts at the hiring process first, and then goes down to the actual execution, because you can say you have all these values and do all these things, but if you don't go out and execute those values yourself, your employees aren't going to follow you. So as the manager, leader, whatever your position is, if you're in a position of power, you need to execute your values as the way you would want your employees to execute values. So understanding that your people is your brand is a very important thing for a company to find the success that they're looking for. So one of the other points she made was to have very strong continuous improvement models. So essentially what that means is that once your employees are hired, and you want to have a strong system set up for them to improve, for them to feel like they're not stuck doing the same thing forever, that they're improving, they're getting better at what they're doing, and you're helping them to do so. They're not going out and fighting all of this by themselves. It's whether that be programs or suggestions or whatever it is, but if you have programs set up to help your employees improve, they're going to like that. They're going to see that there's a future at this company, because they're not going to be doing the same job for 45 years. Some people might want that, but a lot of people want to improve, make more money. For whatever reason that may be, you need to have these systems set up for them to improve. And so in the items to think about, we were told to research 2 companies we might be interested in working at after graduation. So, my personal core values would align with my religion. Would probably say honesty and hard work would be 2 really important ones to me, because people are going to make mistakes and I can live with that. But if you make a mistake and lie to me about it, then you've lost my trust, and that's a whole nother road we have to run down for you to rebuild that trust, or if you're even staying on with the company. I don't know what it is, but I'm a Christian, so a lot of my values are going to align with that. So one company that everyone knows is pretty heavily Christian based is Chick-fil-A. If I was going to work at Chick-fil-A, I would want to be a GM or corporate or something like that. I don't want to work as a low-waged employee my whole life, obviously. So if that was somewhere I was going to consider, I would definitely push for more of a GM position. I think that would be a good place for me to work, because the core values of that company do line up with mine, being a Christian-based company, and I think it would be a pretty good fit for me. And overall, Chick-fil-A their food's great, so why wouldn't you want to work there? And another interesting one, this is one I didn't know, was Tyson Foods. They're a very religious-based company, and John Tyson's their CEO, and he speaks very openly about his beliefs, and that the company core values actually say strive, or be a faith-friendly company, one. And he says the company's core values strive to actually honor God, which I like that. I like what he's setting up there. I like the type of people that are probably going to be brought into that company. Again, this is a company I'd rather work more corporate for, but it still would be an interesting job to have, and somewhere that I would probably do really well at. But core values at the end of the day are going to be really important for any company, because these values, again, set up how your company is going to go. And once you set them up, execute them, and I think you'll be looking good. And obviously there's more that goes into a company than core values. You got to make money, you got to have whatever you're doing working properly, efficiency. But overall, I think that these core values are probably one of the more important pieces. Thank you.